Wachia and welcome. This is for our FNMI elementary network, and I'm just going to do a quick overview of all the things that we have seen or done in Desire to Learn. So as a first reminder, to get to our space, you want to click on Staff at the board website. There is the link right here, Desire to Learn. Click on that and it brings you to the login page, and there is a little reminder about how to log in. It'll be your Active Directory username and password. And this brings you to the organization homepage. So just a reminder, you might see a couple of different roles here, a student role and a teacher role. As a teacher, you would see some, potentially, if you're a homeroom teacher, you'll see your classes listed here, or you should, and if not, then you can let me know. Under the student role, you'll see a couple of different ones. The Blended Learning Resource Center, we only visited there very, very briefly, and that was just so that we could register for this one, our First Nations Métis Inuit Blended Resource Center. We'll go there in a minute. I did want to just show you that the Blended Learning Resource Center has a whole host of things related to using Desire to Learn with your students. And maybe in the months to come or next year, you could do a little bit of exploring there. Whenever you're somewhere and you want to get back to the organizational homepage, just click on My Home. Here we are back on the home page. I'm going to make sure I'm as a student in order to get to the First Nations Métis Inuit Blended Resource Center. So here is where we have spent most of our time so far. Up here on the purple mini bar, you will see your name and a few things related to your account. We very briefly mentioned this on notifications. And on notifications, you might want to register yourself. You can put in your email address. For example, you could even register your cell phone, your mobile device. And what that would do is allow you, for example, if you subscribe to a discussion forum, you'll get an automatic email. A good couple of things to check off if you're going to go this route about being automatically notified when things happen in the course would be news items. And that's what I did for my students. I recommended to them that they have this checked off so that when something important that I posted in the course, they would get an instant email related to that. And then you just save it and we're back to the home page. Couple of other things. There's another mini bar here too. It's a white mini bar, and these have three little drop-down menus. Checklists we've used. There are a few other things there. Discussions, we've used that as well. And under assessment, we've used the survey and we've used the Dropbox. So I'll just go through a few of those. Just before we do that though, back here on the course homepage, of course, there are the news items from originally when we started and from when this web space was opened. And it is possible for us, when we do this with our students, to create news items that can hyperlink to things within the course or even things outside on the internet. So in this case, this news item has a hyperlink to all the Inuksuks, or most of them I should say, a sampling of most of the Inuksuks that we created virtually, and it also has a hyperlink to one of our surveys that we'd like you to fill out. Over here on the right hand side is the content browser, And this is filled with many resources that Kristen has already posted here related to FNMI, specifically for us in the elementary network. You might remember some of these from our session 2. So that's one way to um, navigate to get to some of the materials. Another way to do that is back from the course homepage. Under course content, you can click on this little link called content. And what it does is bring up more of a table of contents style of seeing everything. So potentially when the course has quite a bit of content in it and that little content browser isn't large enough anymore to show everything, then the table of contents view is probably just a nicer way to navigate. And any one of these, of course, are available. To go back, you could click along this little trail, I guess you'd call it, a little link trail. And that's it for content so far, but as you can see, Kristen definitely has posted quite a bit for us. And there's even a new one coming for the secondary teachers. They'll be starting up shortly. So I'm going to click back on the course home page title, which brings us back to the course home page. And the discussions area. We, on our first session together, and I think this was actually our first discussion forum that we participated in, it's actually now passed, but it is possible for you to go and still read things there. It is available just for reading and not posting anymore. There's one right here. For example, there's not any restriction related to time, and you can contribute here. And this was a little lower down, the cutting of my long hair. That was one that you likely remember reading at least, and maybe participated in that as well. So discussion items, definitely we're piloting that, we're using that, and it is something that, depending on the age of your students, if they're really young, you may or may not want discussion items, but certainly junior level, intermediate level students could do that. And that was once again located under discussions. And the other thing that we did, surveys, we had originally a survey, and it's not listed here anymore because it has expired, so to speak. The second survey, based on what we did at our second session, there is still a open survey for you to click on and give us your feedback from that second session. And the last thing that we also covered were drop boxes. And we had a few people who posted things in the, well, you and your partner may have posted one, or you yourself posted one. And we also had some people post things in the 4 areas when we were separated into our groups in the afternoon of our second session. Because I'm logged in as a student, just like you were, it's showing that I have not contributed anything. And if I had logged in as a teacher, or Kristen had logged in as a teacher, then these numbers would be showing the total number of submissions for each one of those Dropbox folders. So I think that's it. That's the highlight of, or sorry, the overview of what we covered. And if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to contact Kristen or myself. Thanks very much. Have a great day.